Hello, coffee lovers. My name is Russell Volts from Lake City Coffee, and I'm guessing you hate bitter coffee as much as I do. I have always hated coffee my entire life up till about 15 years ago when I happened to run into a cup of coffee that was to die for. It was so smooth with no bitterness at all, and I said, I gotta figure out how to make coffee like this, which I did. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 tricks to making non bitter coffee. 5 tricks. It's just super simple. Anybody can do it. Trust me. If I can do it, you can do it. So, we're going to go through that really quickly, and hopefully, this is going to help you out quite a bit. Number 1, choose high quality coffee beans. Now, unfortunately, most beans in the United States that are consumed by consumers like you and I are very low quality. So we've got what I call industrial coffee companies basically looking to make coffee for the masses. And they figure you're too stupid to enjoy good coffee. I think they're wrong. I think you and I both want great coffee, non bitter coffee. So we have to start with good, solid beans. For me, the smoothest, least bitter coffee beans on the planet come from Central America. And the best in Central America come from Costa Rica. And in Costa Rica, the best come from the Terrazo region in Costa Rica. To me, these are the smoothest, most flavorful beans pretty much on the planet. The only thing comes close to it is Kona coffee. In fact, Kona coffee is pretty darn good, but it's about 5 times the price. Next, after getting great beans, you want to go for a lighter roast. Typically, dark roasted coffee, so Italian roast, French roast, continental roast, espresso roast. Those are nothing more than marketing terms for burnt coffee. That's pretty much my opinion on it. So a lighter roast is the way to go. I personally like a medium roast. That means a medium brown roast. You're going to get more flavor than you are at a dark roast. You're going to get more caffeine. Yes, medium roast gives you more caffeine than a dark roast, right? And if you want a dark roast, like here at Lake City Coffee that we produce, our dark roast is a very, very dark brown. It's not black. As soon as you have a black bean, there's no caffeine in it. Well, it's the oils inside. So the oils inside those beans disappear when you burn them. That means no caffeine or little caffeine, little bioflavonoids, antioxidants, and flavor. All pretty much go out the window when they're over roasted. Third, use fresh roasted beans. Here's a sad truth. A vast majority of the coffee sold in the United States has been sitting in warehouses and on store shelves for months, if not years. Anytime you take a coffee bean and let it sit for too long, especially exposed to air, like most roasters do, as soon as they do that, the coffee turns bitter. That's why you and I don't like bitter industrial coffee. What that means is we need to have great quality beans that are roasted and put in an airtight bag within minutes. That means that those beans are still warm when they go in the bag, right? That's your lighter roast. And when it's sealed like that, it'll hold in the freshness, assuming you have a very high quality one-way valve. That allows the outgassing, which naturally occurs, of CO2, which is a good preservative environment for beans to happen, and lets that gas escape from the bag but let no oxygen in. Oxygen is the enemy of freshness, and we bag everything to make sure that that freshness will last for weeks, if not months. Number 4, the 4th trick to making non-bitter coffee is all in the grind. That grinding process, if you're using a great grinder or a medium, $50 grinder, as long as you can get a consistent grind that's right for what you want to make. Generally speaking, the smaller the grind, the finer the grind, the more bitter the taste. But you get a lot of flavor with it. So you have bitterness and flavor. On the other end of the spectrum, you have a coarse ground, which is much smoother, not near as bitter, but you don't quite get as much flavor either. There's a nice balance in the middle. And that middle balance is where you need to experiment to play back and forth to find out what works for you. Okay? And number 5, perfect your brewing techniques. Now, a lot of people, really, you find what you like and you stick with it. But the key is to experiment. To experiment with the beans, experiment with the roast, experiment with how fresh it is, and the grind. That grind is critical. I'll start with a grind, taste it, and go, that's a little bit on the bitter side, so I'll tweak the grind just slightly. Okay? So let's talk about different brewing techniques that make a difference. Water temperature, a lot of people go crazy about water temperature. They say, oh, it's got to be 200 degrees. I boil everything. And when I'm boiling it, it's 212. 12 degrees isn't going to make that much difference. Besides, I'm putting it in a brewing system that's at room temperature. So it'll drop from 12 to 200 pretty darn quick. Ratio of coffee grounds to water. Big deal. I use a scale right here for a mug this size. This is 12 ounces. I use 20 grams of coffee, right? And it's interesting that 6 beans, you can taste the difference. Taste the difference, 6 beans, more or less. Put 6 extra beans in, take 6 beans out, you can taste the difference. So ratio grounds, what I use is 20 grams of beans, grind them, and then to make 12 ounces of coffee. So 12 ounces. That's just me personally. Honestly, 21 grams or 19 grams, I can taste the difference. And I bet you can too. The next thing is brewing time. How long does the water and the grounds interact together? The longer it's in the brewing process, you're going to pick up more flavor, but you're also going to pick up more of the bitterness. The faster or less time that those two are mixed together, you're going to get a smoother coffee, but not quite as much flavor. Again, there's a balance somewhere in the middle. For me, I found it to be about 3 minutes. 4 minutes, too much flavor. There can never be too much flavor, right? But a little too bitter at 4 minutes. 2 minutes, and smooth as can be, but it doesn't have a lot of flavor. That's just me personally. Now, let's talk about the next thing, that's brewing time, is perfecting your brewing method. So if you can perfect your method, that means experimenting, right? You can make non-bitter coffee that tastes great. In conclusion, all this, making great non-bitter coffee is about control. Having control over your beans, your grind, and the brewing process. By following these tips I've talked about, you can make coffee better than any barista. The coffee that comes out of your kitchen, I promise you, can be way better than what you can buy down at the coffee shop, right? So, if you have any questions, get in control, contact with us. We'd be happy to help you out. We'll see you later.